All right, welcome to my Facebook page with me today. And he is an international gospel artist. And today we will be looking at how can music help people during this pandemic. So welcome, Brian, the Anointed Vale. Welcome to my Facebook page.
Yeah, man. Blessings, man. Good to be here. Uh, it's a long time coming, I would say. It's my first time doing this with you, so looking forward, to some great topics as you have mentioned earlier to me before this recording. So let's see what the Lord is doing, and I have a few little perspective on certain things. So let's see how we can do that for today.
All right.
Yeah. Well, uh, music by itself is a part of me. I love music. I have a deep passion for music. But I think as I grew as a musician and as an artist, I fell in love with reggae. So I would say when it comes down to being specialized in a particular genre, reggae would definitely be the genre I would openly say. But I also love other styles of music, of course. Um, I listen to a lot of jazz. I listen to a lot of classical music as well. I'm into um, I'm into funk, groove, stuff like that. But in terms of what I do and what I specialize in, it definitely would be reggae all the way. And of course, when I say reggae, I mean reggae gospel. We love the genre, but being a gospel artist as well, I focus more on the that aspect of reggae that we do. So reggae gospel would definitely be what I would say I'm specialized in.
So any particular reason for reggae gospel?
Oh, every time I get asked that question, the same answer goes right across the board. I grew up in Jamaica, Portland, of course. And well, you specifically know the type of environment that we grew up in. A lot of music, a lot of reggae music, especially on the weekends. We have a lot of parties and all of these things that happen consistently. So I didn't think it affected me until later in life when I realized how much my community influenced me to love what I love. And that's because it was the continuation of music, and especially reggae music that's been played, next door on the sound systems that would frequently come at our home and at our house, in our yard, and of course in the community at large. So I think I highly influenced by my community and the music that was prominently, sorry, played in the community. And then from that, now having gone to Edna Manley and learning the craft and understanding the value of reggae music and the journey, I think that is the reason. And of course, being a Christian, um, I had to put the gospel on it. Big up to men like Papa San, who DJ Nicholas and Chevelle Franklin, and so who have sort of created the platform for younger artists like myself to be able to do this style of music. Prodigal Son as well, who have really influenced. So I think more than anything else, I feel within myself that I was created to do reggae music. I think that's the amount of love I have for it. So no, I think I've come to the conclusion that I believe that God had created me to do reggae music, and of course the gospel on it. So yeah.
What kind of music do you think people should be gravitating to at this time during
Oh.
this pandemic?
um oh, that's a tricky question. What type of music? I mean, it's how I see it right now. I mean, inspirational music is always out there, but there are a lot of other people who have different needs that I guess the music will fulfill. But as the question stated, I really think that we should be looking towards music that uplift your spirit, because I know that a lot of people are depressed right now. A lot of people are feeling really, really, really down because a lot of people lose their job. People have lost, and even as musicians and as artists, right now, our industry is the first in history that our industry have been affected in this way. Even in 2008, I think it was when they had when the whole market crashed and everything. Music was one of the music industry was one of the industries that were never really hit to this extent right now. So really, to answer your question, I think right now we need a lot of uplifting music that is pointing towards positivity, music that will influence your mind to go to the next level and to think beyond what we're seeing right now. And of course, for me, as a gospel artist, I definitely have to recommend some gospel music that will also not just uplift your physical being, but also your spirit and of course your soul, to satisfy that aspect of your body, because we also need to be inspired to go and to do the things that will take us to the next level. Because even though we're going through all of this, we have to also remember that there's better ahead of us, and what more or who more to do so than us as gospel ministers. Whether it be reggae gospel, dancehall gospel, if you're into hip hop gospel, or it's ballad, one contemporary gospel music, or even hymns, if that's what you're into. So just look for music. I think right now we should be listening to music that can uplift our spirit, in this time.
Yes, thank you for that answer, Brian, the Anointed Vale. How can you encourage youth who might have a passion toward music? How do you encourage them toward the music industry?
Um, First of all, the reality is that the music industry is a vicious place, and I use that word loosely because I'm referring to both side of the story, being the secular side, or as we talk, I would say mainstream, and even in the gospel. So we have to know, I guess um my words of encouragement would be, first of all, you have to know who you are. You have to know yourself, know what you're about. And it can't be about money, it can't be about fame. If that's your first approach to it, you're already lost. You have already lost. So you have to first of all have a love for what you do. If it's singing, if it's playing an instrument, whatever aspect, if you as an artist or as an aspired artist or looking towards the music industry right now, 2020, you have to love your craft. And I think that is one of the things that's keeping a lot of the artists right now. And consistency, because not being able to perform right now is not the easiest thing, and then we're doing a lot of virtual stuff. So my point is that until you have loved your craft more than even the air that you breathe, then I think that's the only way you are going to even start in this time, because it's a time when all of us as ministers, and not just ministers but artists in general, mainstream, or even in Christendom, as we call it, has been affected by the COVID-19 and the whole pandemic stuff. So your passion for the music would be the first thing you need. And of course, you need to have a good team. Like from the beginning, I've learned this the hard way. Being an independent artist is not the easiest thing, because you have to foot all the bills. You have to deal with all of that. So it comes with responsibility. And for you to be successful, it's not about your gift anymore. Well, let me not say that. It's not all about the gift that you have. You also need to have a team. And with your team, you'll be able to move to the next level. So definitely, I would say make sure you have a passion for what you love, and don't approach it from a money, fame perspective. Approach it from the perspective of love that you have for your craft and love that you have for the music. And then, the world will accept you the way how you have presented yourself. And yeah, man, I think that's a good way to start.
Okay, thank you so much. What are your views on this new song that is creating waves across the world, continent of Africa?
From
Everybody's
outer
doing the
Africa.
dance move and so
Yes.
on.
Oh. I was watching an interview with the guy who actually produced the song, and he was talking about the fact that he didn't knew that the song was going to be that big. The song has about 200 and something million views, which is phenomenal for a gospel song, into this to the society. But my take on it, I don't really have a lot of take on it per se, but I generally think it's a really good song. I've heard it like almost everywhere. Of course, it was made popular on through TikTok, and then of course the dance challenge that came with it. So I don't really have a lot to say about it, but it's a good song. I think it's a really, really good song, and it's a lot of influence it has created around the world, because I'm seeing different ethnicity, different countries, different people really, taking on dancing, even footballers, and so and of course they're lifting up the king, as the guy demonstrated or translated, sorry, the definition for the chorus, and it's talking about going back to Jerusalem, of course. They're still representing Christ as well. So that's a good look, man. I love the song though. Yes.
Do you get a sense of the music is being used to unite people?
The great Bob Marley spoke about some of the inequality that we see in our society today, and he talked a lot about um, separating ourselves from the mental slavery that we have in our physical and in our minds, rather. And he talked a lot about uniting the world, uniting the people. To some extent, we can understand, the gesture of what he was trying to bring across and the message he was trying to put out there. And like you made mention about Jerusalem, it's the same thing that is happening. Maybe, and I would say indirectly, because it's like it became a buzz, and then everybody's doing it, and indirectly it is uniting different nations. Like I mentioned earlier, you're seeing different ethnic group and so on coming on doing the dance, and even different religions. I saw people from other religions coming on and dancing and so on. So yes, I think that I think our main aim should be to unite, as a people, as a nation, as one, and just being able to use that platform that we have as a means of vehicle to push that message out there is a brilliant and is a marvelous thing. So definitely, I think that music in general, and not just this one song, but music in general definitely should be, to bring us together, and of course to bring awareness of what's happening in and around our societies and so on. So definitely.
Okay. Yes, I must apologize to my Facebook family that my internet is so slow. So I'm trying my best to get this going. Next question to you, and I would say maybe this is the penultimate question. Do you have any new projects or new music at the moment working on, or anything out that is
Yes.
new?
I released a new single. Or it's a new single called Portland, which is talking about my journey, of course, from where I'm from, Jamaica, from Portland. And that was released the 1st of August. That is my newest project. That before that, I released a second album called The Collab, which is talking about, as we talk about music uniting the whole family and the world at large. That project was really based on wanting to unite the industry in gospel. And so I set out on a journey last year, and I flew in Christafari, the gospel reggae group from the US, flew them in, had DJ Nicholas, and I had a whole host. I had about 13 artists on my launch. That's the launch for my second album here in Guyana. And that really brought a level of unity, because that was the idea I wanted. And as well, I wanted to feature, I had 12 tracks. I have 12 tracks on the album. And my idea really was to feature 12 different artists from 12 different countries or islands and countries. And it sort of taught me something. It taught me that the unity I really want, it's a good gesture to push out there, but it's not really there as yet, because it was really difficult, very, very difficult to get artists just to come on board to do like one verse on a piece of a chorus. on a particular project. It took some people a year. This was about 2 years in advance. I was planning this, so that it went well. I got picked up by a very known distribution company, RB, um, VP Records from the United States. That's the station, the group or the record label that does distribution for mainstream gospel. They picked me up, and now they're distributing for me for that. But my newest project um, is um, is the is Portland, which again talked about where I'm from. It talks about my just some of the things that we spoke about earlier in the video, about my journey with the music and what it did. And then it's also talked about my transition from, out there into Christianity, and how that affected me still living in the community. So Portland really brought together pieces of my experiences back a few years ago when I got saved, and how I transitioned from that into the whole thing. So also, I just got nominated for the Texas for the Texas Award, uh, Texas Excellence Award, I think it's called. I just got an email about 2 or 3 days ago that I was nominated for Best Soloist of the Year, or International Soloist of the Year, sorry, for 2021. So that's what's new. I also have my record company, my record label, and I just produced another album for one of our first artists under the label. We just produced his first album, and it's doing well so far. We did an album launch recently, so we have those projects coming out, and we have more artists working with as well, and basically just putting stuff. So we'll have, more projects are coming out. Might not be my project, but from the label's perspective, I'm also one of the managers for a management company, one of the partners rather for a management company. We're managing other artists. So my plate is a little full, and these are some of the things that we're doing as I go along. I learn, so I'm trying to impart the knowledge that I've learned over the years into some of the young and upcoming artists as well. I just turned 30 a few months ago, and so I decided that, not putting down the music, but I'm looking more on the business side of it right now, developing other artists, putting their career out there, and of course their ministries and so on, and learning as I go along as well. So, yeah.
Okay. And I know that you're very versatile, Brian, in a number of areas.
Yeah.
You produce, you write, you play the keyboard,
Yeah.
I'm hearing you're managing now. That's very impressive.
Man.
Very
Yeah, man,
impressive.
to God be the glory, man.
And you own your own
Yes.
studio. And I must commend you for that, for a young man, for
Yeah.
others to follow. It is really a remarkable. I'm really encouraging
Yes.
you.
Thank you.
I wish you all the best. And I look forward to even doing another interview with you. Hopefully, I will have better internet to do
Yeah.
something more
Yeah.
official.
Yeah, man. No problem.
Because I trust that I will do as much justice to you, because I have to, every time you do something, you go for excellence. So what
Yeah.
I'm doing now, I just hope that you will forgive me if it doesn't
Yeah,
come
man.
out as you would like. But I just want to thank you so much, and I hope that somebody who is viewing this can benefit in some way, because I know that music plays an important role in uplifting the spirit, especially at this time. So before we close, do you have any final words? Where can we view you? Where can we find you? And how can we purchase your record, your CDs, etc.?
Right. Well, as you know, we're in the pandemic, so everything is really digital right now. So everywhere music is sold, it's the Anointed Vale, DI Anointed VALE. That's the name. If you Google me, you will find articles, you'll find everything basically. And also, everywhere music is sold, everywhere music is streamed, you can find me. The Anointed Vale, my first album called Blood of Jesus, my second album, the collab, and of course Portland, the new single, and we also have some other singles in between there. Just look for The Anointed Vale and you will be able to find me. I'm also on YouTube. You can check out my YouTube channel, The Anointed Vale, as well. And that's where you could get the music. For like I said, for now, I'm not. all my tours, all my shows, everything canceled from the last 5 or 6 months ago. So we're just basically doing everything virtual right now. We have pop up concerts every now and then. So if you guys check me out, follow me on Instagram as well, follow me on Twitter, The Anointed Vale. I'm also on Facebook, so check out The Anointed Vale. I have three pages on Facebook. So either of them you could get me at. All right, The Anointed Vale and Anointed Vale and The Anointed Vale with the artist page. So you could find me Instagram, Twitter, and of course YouTube and Facebook with The Anointed Vale. And support, man, support. There are different ways you can support. You know what I mean? Buy a music, buy a song. When you buy a song, it goes back to the ministry and what we're doing. So blessings, man.
Yes. Do you have a telephone number? I know you are presently based in Guyana.
Yes.
Do you have a telephone number that persons can reach you as
Yeah,
well?
you could check me at my email address, theanointedvale@gmail.com. That's theanointedvale@gmail.com. Or you could get me at 592, that's the area code, 653-8245. That's 592-653-8245. If you have, any further questions or so, you guys can hit me up there for sure.
Okay. And just before you go, you also minister you're also a minister of the gospel,
Yes.
a preacher,
Preacher.
pastor.
Yes, I was
Yes, you are ordained.
yes. I was
Okay.
yeah, I was well, not as a pastor, but as a chaplain rather. I
Okay.
are ordained as a chaplain and an evangelist.
An
So
evangelist.
I have my accreditation for evangelist and chaplain as well. And I've been,
Okay.
one of my passion is preaching, since my experience. So I've been going, done a lot of that. A lot of people don't know this side of me. It's usually this part of me is not usually in the limelight. People know me as an artist and so on, but I do a lot of preaching, I do a lot of street ministry and so on as well. I've seen a whole lot of stuff, man. I've seen demon cast out, I've seen people heal, I've seen so many things happen through the ministry. So apart from the music and all of that, this is also what I do. And I think I even love this more than the music because I like to see lives transformed. And sometimes in the music, you're on the stage, you're ministering to thousands of people. Sometimes you may see an immediate transformation right there, but most of the times is like when I'm preaching and I'm sometimes the Holy Spirit comes down and you're doing an evangelistic meeting that you see right there in front of your eye. You see people's life change. I've seen men, big men came and cry when the Holy Spirit hit them. So I think for me, like my real true, I wouldn't say true passion because all I do it 100%. I think it's all my true passions. But one of the things I love more than even the music is preaching. Is going in the street and not just preaching because I'm not saying I don't like to preach in the church, but I think I don't think that the Lord really called me for the sanctuary itself. I think He called me as the man who goes out there into the deep, into the highways and the byways and the edges to preach the gospel, so that when we can bring the sheep into the pasture. So I think that's where the Lord has called me, and I feel more comfortable, and I think I operate better out there because of the type of anointing that the Lord gave to me. So yeah.
I think that's a very good note to end
And
on.
yeah, definitely.
Thank you so much, my nephew, my blood nephew,
Yes.
Brian, the
Blessings, man.
Anointed Vale. I
Yes.
am very proud of you. And again, keep up the good work.
Thank you
And
so
I
much.
hope to do a collaboration with you in the near future,
In the
okay?
near future, all things are possible with the Lord. Eh? Come on,
Okay,
blessings, and
then.
thank you
God
for having me,
bless
man.
you. Yes.
All right, blessings. Man.
Yes, my Facebook family. Thank you for joining us. And I look forward to having you again. I trust that uh, this online Facebook interview was fruitful to you and that you would have benefited from it in some way. So until next time, take care. Shalom, shalom. God bless you. All the best.